I don't care what this says. You are trespassing and I am calling the police right now.
Go ahead.
Cold air hit my face when I opened the door and saw it taped to my porch in fat red letters. We will seize you by force. It was 9:00 p.m. The street was quiet, just the buzz of a street lamp and the smell of wet asphalt after a quick drizzle. My coffee went bitter in my mouth. The paper rattled in the breeze like it was breathing. Across the cul-de-sac, the HOA president stood by her SUV with her arms crossed, watching. She loved to patrol at night like a mall cop. Headlights flashed as someone turned the corner, then slowed, then kept going. My phone buzzed with a new email from the HOA. Delinquent fines, immediate compliance, collection action, for a trash can left out 12 minutes after pickup. 12. I looked at the sign again, felt my ears burn, and took it down with shaking hands. This whole mess had a name in my head now. Karen posted, "We will seize you by force on my porch." Then I pulled the lien. That's the fight. Not about a trash can. About power. About a woman who turned paint shades and mailbox heights into weapons. She'd fined me 8 times in 2 months. She said my fence stain was warm cedar instead of sunset cedar. I could still smell the stain in my garage. I tried to laugh, but it came out dry and angry. I told myself not to do anything stupid. I would use the rules she loved so much. The next morning I tried to talk. I knocked on her door at 8:15 a.m. She opened it a hair. "You have 30 days, she said, and closed it. At the board meeting that night, I stood at the mic, hands steady, voice steady. The board stared at their laptops like they were hiding behind them. A couple of neighbors avoided my eyes. One whispered, "Don't poke the bear." Another whispered, "Just pay it." On the projector, I showed my doorbell clip. 9:00 p.m., her hand taping the sign to my porch. I put up a labeled note. Timeline item 1 April 5th at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. She had called the non-emergency line on me because I watered tomato plants before dawn. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. Karen snorted. The president chair cleared his throat and moved to the next agenda item. They ignored the video. That was my line in the sand. I promised myself I'd use proper channels only. I made coffee, sat at the kitchen table, and started building. I logged every date, every time, every dollar. I sent a public records request for code complaints, calls, and board emails. 2 weeks later, the file landed with 63 pages. My name showed up 17 times. Hers showed up 32. That wasn't a neighborhood. That was a target list. I mapped it all. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. April 12th, 7:18 p.m. Photo of my trash can already on the side of the house, while the email says it's still at the curb. May 1, 6:05 a.m., audio of her measuring my grass with a ruler. I filed a written police report for the threatening notice. I filed a complaint with the city code office for an unpermitted deck I'd seen behind her fence. I mailed a demand letter to the HOA for wrongful fines plus costs, $1,200. Then came the payoff twist. The city inspector emailed me on May 3, 2024 at 2:40 p.m. Deck confirmed unpermitted, encroaching onto the utility easement, notice of violation issued. That night was the annual HOA meeting in the clubhouse. Packed room. The AC hummed. I asked for member comments. Denied, so I used the open forum. I plugged in my laptop and played the doorbell clip. Then the city's violation notice, then a spreadsheet of fines against me and 3 other neighbors who dared to vote against her. People were filming. A kid whispered, "Whoa." A neighbor in the back said, "That's her handwriting on the porch sign?" I didn't need to say it. The room already knew. Then I put up my small claims judgment. Yes, judgment. When she skipped my pretrial mediation and never answered the demand, the court clerk set a hearing. I showed the judge my binder, the threatening sign, the bogus fines, the lost wages. The judgment landed in my favor. And earlier that day I recorded it at the county recorder as a judgment laying against her property. That's what pulled the lien means, not on me. On her. Legal, clean, quiet. The room went silent, then erupted. People laughed, not cruel, but relieved. One neighbor said, "All those emails, and for what?" Phones were up, comments flying, little bubbles of text blinking. Someone posted, "HOA lady gets liened," and the clip took off in our neighborhood group within minutes. I kept it calm. I said, "This is about fairness, not winning." She tried to speak, but the board's attorney, red-faced and sweating, leaned into his mic and said, "We need to recess." Too late. 2 board members whispered that they were resigning. The treasurer slid his keyring onto the table. The police officer who'd come because of expected disruption came over, asked for my binder, and took a photo of the threatening sign. He said, "This is enough to cite for harassment." He asked her to step outside. People clapped, soft and awkward at first, then louder. Authority flipped like a switch. The city inspector posted a bright orange notice on her gate the next morning. Stop work, penalty due in 10 days. The police issued a misdemeanor citation for the threats. The board called an emergency meeting, but this time they invited the whole neighborhood and followed the bylaws for once. They voted no confidence. She was removed as president by a clean margin, 31-4. The new board voided my fines, cut me a reimbursement check for $1,200, and mailed a formal apology with a stamped envelope I didn't need. They gave 3 other neighbors relief too. The county recorder emailed me. Lien recorded successfully, acknowledgement attached. I sent her a copy. No gloating needed. Just the system she loved, working the way it should. After that, things got quiet in the best way. No more yardstick at dawn. No more midnight emails. Trash day got normal again. Kids drew chalk cities on the sidewalk and nobody called it graffiti. On Saturday mornings, I sat on the porch with a mug and the smell of coffee and fresh cut grass, and people waved instead of whispering. She paid her fines and fixed the deck before selling the house in August. At the last board meeting before she left, a neighbor stood up and read a timeline of what happened so we'd never forget. We thanked the city and the officer who actually listened. We set a rule for the neighborhood. Kindness first, notices later. I slept like a rock. I didn't win against a person. I won against a game, and I did it by the book. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.